So the thing with AI is it gets easier and easier to use. And for me, I know how I roll. Once I start using it, I'm just going to keep using it. So for now, and probably forever, if possible, me and AI are not friends. Hi, it's Pam. Welcome back to Stories for Humans. Today I want to tell you what I think about AI. This is a little bit contentious, and I really hope I don't offend anyone in my community, because there are a lot of people in the YouTube community that I'm part of that use AI quite a bit. And I'm not trying to call anybody out or make anyone feel bad about what they do, because we're all individual. And I think that's kind of my point. We're all individual. So here I am. I'm at a little park in my town, and just thought it would be fun to kind of stand here under a tree with the sun shining. It just had a big rainstorm, and just chat about AI. I do not like it. And I've tried editing some photos with it. I've tried just doing a little bit of touch-ups here and there, and I don't know, it just always makes me feel kind of sick. And then the catalyst happened. So the catalyst was reading Fahrenheit 451. And I had never read that Ray Bradbury book, even though I've read a lot of Ray Bradbury short stories and I've taught Ray Bradbury short stories. And so it was kind of cool because it was really similar to that. But I had to read it actually because I'm going to be teaching it, I think, this year in grade 11 English class. So I'm proud of myself that I read it, because it honestly has been a long time since I read a book, which sounds terrible for an English teacher. But the last while, my attention span has been so bad. And that's one reason why I did the video about getting off my phone, because I'm so easily distracted. So, anyway, back to the book. Well, if you've read Fahrenheit 451, you know that it's about kind of an apocalyptic time, and it's got kind of a 50s vibe, but set way in the future, when people, instead of firemen saving houses from burning down, they actually went to houses and burned them down. It was it's crazy, because they were trying to get rid of books, and anyone who was suspected of having books, or if there was an alarm called in for someone that might have been hiding a book, the the fire department would dispatch, run down the pole, get in the fire truck and go down there. Instead of spraying it with water, they would actually light everything on fire. Now, if you haven't read the book and I'm spoiling it for you, I'm sorry. I'll try to avoid all the spoilers. But it just got me thinking again about how I feel about AI. The reality is that I find AI to be kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like the hive mind. It's kind of like that idea of every time we connect to it, we disconnect from humanity. Every time we use AI, in my brain, it's kind of like we're selling a little bit more of what makes us human, a little bit more of our humanity. And I know you've all heard these arguments before, and a lot of them have been debunked or, scoffed, laughed at. But that's just how I feel. I don't want to use AI for anything. I don't, I do ask questions sometimes on Google and realize that the answer is AI. But did you know that your phone, the data on your phone, your texts, your emails, your photos, everything is being gone through by AI and used if you don't turn off those settings. So it's kind of like we're all gradually being unraveled, or all kind of becoming part of just this inhuman entity. And I'm not like a conspiracy theorist type person at all, but I just don't feel good about it. I don't feel right about it. I don't feel comfortable. And so I try not to use it at all. Um, but like I said, it's gotten to be really common, especially I've noticed in my generation, Gen X and older. Now, for some reason, the younger people are really resisting it. Like my son's generation, he wants nothing to do with AI. And yeah, I've noticed a lot of younger creators, they won't really um, use AI to make their videos or to make their thumbnails, like some of them do. Uh, but just, you know, getting back to the ideas in Fahrenheit 451, I was thinking of how it kind of applied to AI. And I was thinking about, yeah, in that book, the problem was that they were really losing all of their memories because all their books had been destroyed, and people didn't know anymore what the classics said. They didn't know anymore what poetry was. They couldn't recite anything. And so they'd kind of lost touch with their past. And in doing so, they were losing the ability to really interact with each other. They were losing the ability to even love. And they were violent. There was a lot of senseless death. And the value of human life was lost when these memories were lost, when the books were gone. And it's kind of a science fiction type of book. And so there's a lot of things, that we could kind of laugh at now in our modern age that you think, oh, that would never happen. But he was living in the time of the Cold War starting. He was living in the time of the atomic bomb, and in the time of a lot of advancement, a lot of progress. And a lot of people thought that that progress was cool and awesome, and that progress is always progressive and it always brings us further ahead. But the book kind of helps you to see that a lot of times progress can actually hinder us and destroy us. And I do think that AI is one of those things, whether we like to admit it or not. So I don't want to just join another anti AI rant, because there's enough of those. And I am all for progress, but I don't want AI to kind of meld into me, or me to meld into AI. Does that make sense? I don't want my face to gradually become not my face, but kind of an AI, I don't know, caricature of myself. I don't want my answers to questions to always be fed by AI sources. I want to use my own brain. I want to think my own thoughts. And we are individuals, but the more we allow AI to mine everything that we say and do and think, and the less we think our own thoughts, and the less we um, engage with original ideas that we have come up with, instead of just regurgitating ideas that someone else has brought up, I think the more we'll stay real, the more we'll stay human. Here's the thing. Here's the picture I have in my head with AI. It's kind of like every time we interact with it, every time we use it, every time we ask it a question, It's like we're sending out, an attachment, like a thread of some kind, and everything is getting more and more attached and enmeshed. Can you kind of imagine that? And the more we get attached to it, kind of like a fly in a spider web, the harder it is to get out. The more we struggle, the harder time we'll probably have. And I know people right now who are literally struggling with using ChatGPT as their friend, as their confidant, as their advisor for everything or for most things. And to me, that's really, really dangerous. And I know I might sound like a crazy person, but I just know, I think if you have real people in your life, ask them. ChatGPT is just giving you what they've collected from the data of a million, hundreds of millions of people, billions of people, maybe. And it's giving you kind of a distilled, lowest common denominator answer to what might be actually a really important question. And there's no way for AI to really know you, to really know your personality, what makes you tick. But it's getting better and better and better at figuring us out, at suggesting things that we might like. And yeah, to me, that's kind of terrifying, to be honest. So I don't know. Do I sound like a conspiracy theorist? Do I sound like um, one of those people that, what do they call, the Luddite? That, those guys that used to tear apart the printing presses and every sign of progress in the past because they were afraid of losing their way of life. Well, I am kind of afraid of losing our way of life as humans. And yeah, it's in the name of my channel, Stories for Humans. I think that really does define what I believe about humanity, that we each have stories, that our stories all do intersect, but not in the kind of detached, impersonal, hive mind kind of way that AI goes about it. And I know most people just think of AI as a helpful little tool and something that just makes life a little bit easier. But have you noticed that the more you ask AI, the more you want to ask AI? Have you noticed that instead of, I don't know, looking something up, reading an article, reading a blog post, you just quickly ask AI for the answer? And guess what? A lot of answers that I've got from my AI have been wrong, sometimes even exactly opposite. It's interesting. Ask AI some things that you know the answer to, and see what happens. Anyway, I just wanted to share that little video today. I just felt kind of inspired after reading Fahrenheit 451. The interesting thing about that name, which you probably know, is that Ray Bradbury, the author, he had just called a fire department and asked what was the temperature that paper burned at. And someone shouted, Fahrenheit 451. And there was the title. I don't even know if that's accurate. I have a feeling it's not, but that's what he heard over the line, and that's what became the title of the book. So I was thinking, at what temperature does AI burn? It doesn't really burn, does it? It's kind of a permanent fixture in our lives. But every day, I think we have the choice to either interact with it or let it be. Every time we have a question, every time we make a video, a thumbnail, every time we look up a recipe, we have an opportunity to either be authentically 100% our real, beautiful human selves, or touch everything up with a little bit of magic. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. And if you found my thoughts kind of frustrating or offensive, I am sorry, but that's just really how I think. And as a musician, let me tell you, even though I can appreciate the skill of some of the AI music that's out there, and I know that the heart behind a lot of it, when people make a video, is it's just actually really, it's just coming from their heart. As a musician, well, of a sort, music teacher, AI music really bothers me too, because there are so many real people that have worked and worked for years and years to become good at their instrument, to learn how to sing, to write songs. And those people have a hard time getting 100 followers on Instagram or on Spotify. But AI music just goes crazy because a lot of people don't even realize it's AI. Or if they do realize it's AI, they're totally fine with it. And I guess I'm just not. Here's another thing. Whenever AI exploits or goes through our minds or reads our real experiences, like for example, I'm walking and it's raining right now, and I just met somebody that I knew who said there's a funnel cloud advisory. Maybe I might see a funnel cloud, but then I write that in my journal, and then it goes through AI and comes out the other end as just like this tiny little factoid about the occurrence of funnel clouds in Alberta in August. And it just takes all the life, all the realness out of it. And I just think every time AI goes through and kind of uses up our books and our experiences, our memories, our photos, and kind of snowballs it into just this big amalgam, this big concrete mess of, you know, um, everything lumped together, it just strips it of its meaning. And meaning is the reason that we're here, right? Whether you're a believer in God, as I am, or not, it's still about meaning. It's about purpose. And so those are my thoughts. As you can tell, not a big fan of AI. And I do think it's going to destroy our humanity, our memories, and maybe not as apocalyptic a way as Fahrenheit 451, but in the same very real way, it's burning through our collective realness. And it's not really artificial intelligence, it's just artificial facts. And it can kind of lean one way or the other by understanding the words that we use and the emotions that the emotional words that we use, and even expressions and things like that. But AI can't really know us. And so, are we really willing to sell our souls piece by piece to this big, nameless, faceless entity? I don't know. I'm not. And I guess if I'm really honest, I don't think you should either. But at the same time, I don't want to be judgmental. And that's kind of a hard place, right? It's hard to be real if you never stand in judgment, or in not really judgment, but if you never evaluate anything, right? If you just say, oh, everything is fine, everyone's truth is their truth. Each of these individual raindrops is completely individual. And you could argue that they all go together into one big ocean. But that just doesn't make any sense in when it comes to humanity, because we are not like raindrops or snow, what are they called? Flakes. We are each indelibly stamped with the image of God in a completely unique and wonderful way. And I am uniquely getting completely poured on out here. And I don't know, but I'm loving every minute of it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my wee rant or thoughts, I guess we'll say, about AI and its influence on our world. I would love to see it gone entirely, but I know that that's not possible. So I guess just for me in my life, I have a policy for myself personally to use AI as little as possible. And that's just kind of where I stand. So see you again really soon.